First plant we're going to work on is this example arcane. Quite a small plant, but in actual fact this is 5 years old. First year's growth was fairly normal, about 18-19 inches, but in subsequent years growth has been smaller and smaller. It's essentially in competition with the ferns in here. If we look at the tips of the shoots, we can see how little growth has been produced over the last few years. Also, given the lack of water this plant's getting, come the summer the leaves are going to show signs of scorching. They're going to look okay in the spring for a few months, but as its temperature increases, then yes, you're going to get scorching. The other problem with this plant is it hasn't been fed, so you've got essentially two problems causing this type of growth. Very, very short stubby growth, insufficient moisture and no feeding. Okay, well, we've now got our cleaned up root system ready for potting on. I'll soak that in Super Thrive for 10 minutes while I make up the potting compost for it. This growth has been going since about the middle of June, but at the moment there's not a great deal of root activity. There's a small amount of fibrous secondary roots coming through the drainage holes, but not sufficient to suggest that we might need to pot it on. So for the time being we leave this as it is and come back to it in the autumn. Now that the growing season is over, it's time to look at the plants that we worked on earlier in the year and see what sort of progress they've made. The first one is arcane, and as you can see, quite a spectacular difference between now and a year ago. Primarily the amount of growth it's produced and the amount of extra wood it's put on the trunk. This now needs potting on, but I'll resist the temptation of putting it in a too large a pot. It will go into a 5 litre pot, which is about another inch or so in diameter.